Riyad as-Salihin is a selection of hadith compiled by Imam Yahya ibn Sharaf an-Nawawi. It is one of the most widely known and read books of hadith all over the world, containing approximately 1,900 carefully chosen hadith on ethics, manners, worship, knowledge, and other topics compiled from the 6 books of hadith. It is practical and accessible to Muslims of all levels. The Book of Virtues, Part 6. Chapter, The Excellence of Spending Out Charity During Ramadan. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, "The Messenger of Allah was the most generous of the men, and he was the most generous during the month of Ramadan when Jibril visited him every night and recited the Quran to him. During this period, the generosity of Messenger of Allah waxed faster than the rain-bearing wind." Aisha, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, when the last 10 nights of Ramadan would begin, the Messenger of Allah would keep awake at night for prayer and devotion, awaken his family and prepare himself to be more diligent in worship. Chapter, The Prohibition of Observing Saum, Fasting, after the middle of Sha'ban. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, "Do not observe Saum, fasting, for a day or 2 days preceding Ramadan. However, if a person is in the habit of observing Saum on a particular day, which may fall on these dates, he may fast on that day." Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, "Do not observe Saum, fasting, before the advent of Ramadan. Observe Saum at sighting of the Crescent of Ramadan and terminated at sighting the Crescent of Shawwal. If the sky is overcast, complete the month as 30 days." Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, "When there comes the middle of Sha'ban, don't observe Saum, fasting." Ammar bin Yasir, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, "He who observes the fast on a doubtful day, has in fact disobeyed Abul Qasim, i.e., Messenger of Allah. Chapter, Supplication at the sight of the Crescent, at the outset of every lunar month. Talha bin Ubaidullah, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, at the sight of the new moon of the lunar month, the Prophet used to supplicate, Allahumma hiyahu alayna bil amni wal iman, was salamati wal Islam, Rabbi wa Rabbuk Allah, halali rushdin wa karan, O Allah, let this moon appear on us with security and iman, with safety and Islam. O moon, your Rabb and mine is Allah. May this moon be bringing guidance and good. Chapter, Merit of Suhur, Predawn meal in Ramadan, and the excellence of delaying having it till before dawn. Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, "Eat Suhur, Predawn meal. Surely, there is a blessing in Suhur." Zayd bin Thabit, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "We took Suhur, Predawn meal, with the Messenger of Allah, and then we stood up for Fajr, Salat, prayer. It was asked, how long was the gap between the two? He replied, the time required for the recitation of 50 ayat. Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, the Messenger of Allah had 2 muaddin, Bilal and Ibn Maktum, may Allah be pleased with them. The Messenger of Allah said, Bilal proclaims at dawn, call to Salat, prayer, at fagant of night, so eat and drink till Ibn Maktum pronounces Adhan. Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with them, added, and the gap between their Adhan was not more than the time spent in one's getting down and the other's climbing the minaret. Amr bin Alas, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, the difference between our observance of Saum, fasting, and that of the people of the scriptures is Suhur, Predawn meal in Ramadan. Chapter, the superiority of hastening to break the fast, and the supplication to say upon breaking it. Sal bin Sid, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, people will continue to adhere to good as long as they hasten to break the Saum, fasting. Abu Ashwa, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, Masruq and I visited Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, and said, O mother of the believers, There are two companions of Muhammad, and neither of them holds back from doing good acts, but one of them hastens to break Saum, fasting, and hastens to perform the Maghrib prayer, while the other delays breaking Saum and delays performing Salat, prayer. She asked, "Who is the one who hastens to break Saum and perform the Maghrib prayer?" Masruq said, "It is Abdullah, meaning Abdullah bin Mas'ud." She said, "The Messenger of Allah used to do so." Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "The Messenger of Allah said, Allah the Most High says, from amongst my slaves, the quicker the one is in breaking the Saum, fasting, the dearer is he to me." Umar bin al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "The Messenger of Allah said, when the night approaches from this side, i.e., the east, and the day retreats from that side, i.e., west, and the sun sets, then it is time for a person observing Saum, fasting, to break his fast." Abu Ibrahim Abdullah bin Abu Ifa, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, "We were with the Messenger of Allah on a journey and he was observing Saum, fasting. When the sun set, he said to a person, 'Dismount and prepare the ground roasted barley drink for us.' Upon this he replied, 'O Messenger of Allah, there is daylight still.' The Messenger of Allah said, 'Get down and prepare barley drink for us.' He said, 'But it is still daytime.' The Messenger of Allah again said to him, 'Get down and prepare barley drink for us.' So he got down and prepared a barley liquid meal for him. The Prophet drank that and then said, 'When you perceive the night approaching from that side, a person observing Saum, fasting, should break the fast.' And he pointed towards the east with his hand." Salman bin Amir, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "I heard the Prophet saying, when one of you breaks his Saum, fasting, let him break it on dates. If he does not have any, break his fast with water for it is pure." Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "The Messenger of Allah used to break his Saum, fasting, before performing Maghrib prayer with 3 fresh date fruits. If there were no fresh date fruits, he will eat 3 dry dates, and if there were no dry date fruits, he would take 3 draughts of water." Chapter, Safeguarding As-Saum, the Fast. Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "The Messenger of Allah said, when any one of you is observing Saum, fasting, on a day, he should neither indulge in obscene language nor should he raise the voice, and if anyone reviles him or tries to quarrel with him he should say, 'I am observing fast.'" Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "The Prophet said, if one does not eschew lies and false conduct, Allah has no need that he should abstain from his food and his drink." Chapter, Matters relating to As-Saum, fasting. Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "The Prophet said, if any one of you forgetfully eats or drinks, while observing fasting, he should complete his Saum, fasting, for Allah has fed him and given him to drink." Laqit bin Sabira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "I requested the Messenger of Allah to talk to me about ablution. He said, perform the wudu well, by washing those parts of the body, such as the face, hands and feet beyond what is required, like washing the hands up to the upper arm instead of the elbow. Cleanse the base of your fingers and sniff water deep into the nose except when you are observing fast." Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, "The Messenger of Allah would wake up at Fajr time in a state of janabah, so he would take bath before dawn and observe fasting." Aisha and Salama, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, "The Messenger of Allah would wake during Ramadan, fasting, in a state of major impurity without a wet dream, but on account of sexual intercourse, and he would take a bath before dawn." Chapter, The Excellence of Observing Saum, fasting, in the months of Muharram and Sha'ban and the Secred months. Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "The Messenger of Allah said, the best month for observing Saum, fasting, next after Ramadan is the month of Allah, the Muharram, and the best Salat, prayer, next after the prescribed Salat is Salat at night, Tahajjud prayers." Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, the Prophet did not observe voluntary Saum, fasting, so frequently during any other month as he did during Sha'ban. He observed Saum throughout the month of Sha'ban. Another narration is, he observed Saum during the whole month of Sha'ban except a few days. Reported Mujibah al-Bahili on the authority of her father or uncle that he visited the Messenger of Allah once and then went to see him again after a year. His appearance had totally changed. He asked the Messenger of Allah if he had recognized him. The Messenger of Allah asked, "Who are you?" He replied, "I am al-Bahili who visited you last year." The Messenger of Allah said, "You were quite handsome. What has changed your appearance so much?" He replied, "Since my departure from here, I have not eaten anything except at night." The Messenger of Allah remarked, "You have put yourself to torture. Observe Saum, fasting, during the month of patience, i.e., Ramadan, and fast one day from each month." He submitted, "Permit me to observe more voluntary fasts because I have capacity to do so." The Messenger of Allah said, "Then observe fasts for 2 days in every month." He said, "Permit me to observe more." The Messenger of Allah said, "Observe fasts on 3 days in every month." He requested that he should be allowed to observe more fasts. The Messenger of Allah said, "Fast 3 days during the sacred months and omit fasting for 3 days alternately." He joined his 3 fingers together and left them apart while repeating this sentence thrice. Chapter: The Excellence of As-Saum, the Fast, during the first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, "There are no days during which the righteous action is so pleasing to Allah than these days, i.e., the first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah." He was asked, "O Messenger of Allah, not even jihad in the cause of Allah?" He replied, "Not even jihad in the cause of Allah, except in case one goes forth with his life and his property and does not return with either of it." Chapter: The Excellence of Observing Saum on the Day of Arafah, Ashura and Tasu'a, i.e., 9th of Muharram. Abu Qatada, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah was asked about the observance of Saum, fasting, on the day of Arafah. He said, "It is an expiation for the sins of the preceding year and the current year." Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, the Messenger of Allah observed Saum, fasting, on the day of Ashura and commanded us to fast on this day. Abu Qatada, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah was asked about observing As-Saum, the fast, on the 10th day of Muharram, and he replied, "It is an expiation for the sins of the preceding year." Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, "If I remain alive till the next year, I shall also observe fast on the 9th of Muharram." Chapter: The Desirability of Fasting 6 Days in the Month of Shawwal. Abu Ayyub, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, "He who observes As-Saum, the fasts, in the month of Ramadan, and also observes As-Saum for 6 days in the month of Shawwal, it is as if he has observed As-Saum for the whole year." Chapter: The Desirability of Observing Saum, fasting, on Monday and Thursday. Abu Qatada, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah was asked about fasting on Mondays. He said, "That is the day on which I was born and the day on which I received revelation." Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, "Deeds of people are presented to Allah on Mondays and Thursdays. So I like that my actions be presented while I am fasting." Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, the Messenger of Allah used to observe fast on Mondays and Thursdays. Chapter: The Desirability of Observing 3 days of fasting in every month. Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "My friend, the Messenger of Allah directed me to observe fast for 3 days in every month, to perform 2 rak'ah, optional, duha prayer at forenoon and to perform the witr prayer before going to bed." Abu Darda, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, "My friend, the Messenger of Allah directed me to observe Saum, fasting, for 3 days in every month, to perform 2 rak'ah, optional, duha prayer at forenoon, and to perform the witr prayer before going to bed. Abdullah bin Amr bin Las, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, observing Saum, fasting, on 3 days of every month is equivalent to a full month's fasting. Mu'adha al-Adawiyah, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, I asked Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, did the Messenger of Allah used to observe 3 days of Saum, fasting, in every month? She replied, yes. I asked, on which days in the month did he observe fast? She replied that he did not mind on which days of the month he observed fast. Abu Dar, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah said, if you want to observe Saum on 3 days in a month, then fast on the 13th, 14th and 15th of the lunar month. Qatada bin may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Messenger of Allah directed us to observe Saum, fasting, on the 13th, 14th and 15th of the lunar month. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with them, reported, it was the practice of the Messenger of Allah to not to omit fast on bright days whether he was staying at a place or on a journey. Chapter, the merit of providing something to the person observing Saum, fasting, for breaking the fast. Zayd bin Khalid al-Juhani, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet said, he who provides a fasting person something with which to break his fast, will earn the same reward as the one who is observing the fast, without diminishing in any way the reward of the latter. Umar al-Ansariya, may Allah be pleased with her, reported, once the Prophet visited us and I served him some food. He asked me to eat. I replied that I was observing, optional, fast. He said, when people eat by a person observing fast, the angels keep asking Allah's forgiveness for that person until they have had their fill. Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, reported, the Prophet came to visit Sa'd bin Ubadah, may Allah be pleased with him, who presented bread and olive oil to him. The Prophet ate it and said, the observers of fast have broken their fast with you. This is the literal translation, but the meaning is, may Allah reward you for providing a fasting people with food to break their fast. The pious people have eat your food and the angels invoked blessings on you.